Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, sorry, I created some other link simultaneously today. So, we want to go ahead and we want to begin today's class by talking about how the commercial bank system in India evolved. देखिए, कैसे आया ये commercial bank system? That's the first question that we want to go ahead and we want to understand. Followed by that, we will also go ahead and we will also try to answer few more questions like what is the criticism of commercial banks in India? Where are they exactly lacking? And what kind of policies can be brought for improving the commercial banking in India? Right. So please write it with me. But evolution of commercial banking in India after independence. Evolution of commercial banking in India after independence. Okay. So, the Reserve Bank of India, it was formed before independence. Independence से पहले ही Reserve Bank of India through RBI Act form हो गया था. बट जब हम कमर्शियल बैंक्स की बात करते हैं तो जो सिग्निफिकेंट चेंजेस कमर्शियल बैंक में आए वो सारे के सारे 1947 के बाद आए हैं, राइट? The first significant change of commercial bank that was actually significant, that was basically nationalization of the banks. ये सबसे significant था. उसके बाद as we have studied something called as rural banks, हाँ, तो हमारे जो RRBs थे, regional rural banks, जो प्रायोरिटी लेंडिंग की तरफ थे, वो प्रायोरिटी लेंडिंग पे फोकस 1970s के पीरियड में रहा. Then there was also something which was called as the lead bank scheme. ठीक है, लीड बैंक स्कीम में क्या हुआ कि हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट को एक स्पेसिफिक कमर्शियल बैंक दे दिया गया एंड वी सेड दैट दिस बैंक विल लीड दिस एरिया, राइट? एंड दिस बैंक विल एक्ट एज अ कैटलिस्ट फॉर ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट इन दैट एरिया. माने इस एरिया की सारी डेवलपमेंट इस बैंक की वजह से होगी, राइट? सो दैट वाज कॉल्ड एज लीड बैंक स्कीम. देन ऑफ कोर्स वी हैड एलपीजी पॉलिसी. उस टाइम पे बहुत सारे फाइनेंशियल रिफॉर्म्स आए, राइट? एंड वी बिकेम मोर लिबरल, वी बिकेम मोर प्राइवेटाइज्ड, राइट? वी बिकेम मोर ग्लोबल इन नेचर. तो बैंकिंग एरिया में भी ये चीजें देखी गई. Then we also had some technological advancements coming in the bank sections, man, especially the digital banking, right? Computerization, use of UPIs and etc. ये सब भी शुरू किया गया. Then we have seen that in the recent year, banking sector में बहुत सारी mergers भी हुए हैं, consolidations and mergers. जो banks, जैसे for example, you would know that the PNB Bank, right, Punjab National Bank. I'm not sure if you have ever seen the app of PNB, right? If let me see if I can show you. Now it doesn't show. So earlier what happened is when there was a merger of the PNB Bank with Oriental Bank of Commerce and United Bank of India, जब हमारे merger हुए, so that time when we would open the PNB app, उस app पर they would say that all three banks have turned into one, right? The app still says PNB one, right? But उस टाइम पे they would show three symbols. I cannot see those three symbols now. But उस टाइम पे Oriental Bank of Commerce, United Bank of India और PNB, इन तीनों का ना अलग अलग symbol we used to see it on the app, right? So there have been various mergers and consolidations of different banks that have taken place. Okay? And when this happened, PNB emerged as the second largest public sector bank, right? So this is what has happened in the recent, right? Ab, this is one of the other important thing that has happened, right? And then you have something called as inclusion and financial literacy programs. तो हमने इस बारे में बात की है कि हमारे बहुत ज्यादा फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन आया है, राइट? एंड व्हाट इज फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन बेटा? फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन माने नाउ वी आर गोइंग डीपन्ड, राइट? वी आर डीपनिंग. डीपनिंग माने कि क्या? Deepening money, we are going ahead and we are taking all sectors into consideration. Okay? We are giving loan to different sectors. We are giving loan in the rural area also and in the urban area also. We are giving sector to marginalized farmers also, to poor people also. तो हम हर जगह पे फोकस कर रहे हैं लोन के लिए, है ना? चाहे रिच हो या पुअर, अर्बन हो या रूरल, इंडस्ट्रियल हो या सर्विस सेक्टर हो. वी आर going in each and every place. So that is financial inclusion and deepening. ठीक है? और इसके अलावा, other than this, we also see financial literacy programs. ठीक है? जैसे we have प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना, ये एक financial literacy program है जो introduce किया गया है, right? So these are the different things that you have to go ahead and you have to keep in mind. Okay, beta. Now we will just write down all these evolutions. Please write it with me. After India gained independence in 1947, commercial banking sector underwent significant changes and witnessed notable developments. First, nationalization of banks. Because this is 1969 and 1980, right? So please write down. In an effort to promote social welfare and financial inclusion, the government nationalized 14 banks in 1969 and additional 6 banks in 1980. This move aimed to expand banking service to rural areas, prioritize needs of agriculture and small scale industries and ensure more equitable distribution of credit. So beta 14 major banks. Which banks? Private banks. जो पहले private थे उनको हमने nationalize किया. 14 private banks were nationalized in 1969. And more, another 6 banks were nationalized in 1980. So total में 20 banks nationalized. क्यों नेशनलाइज किया गया पहले? ताकि हम रूरल एरिया तक बैंकिंग को प्रोवाइड कर पाए, सो दैट वी आर एबल टू प्रोवाइड बैंकिंग सर्विस टू द रूरल एरिया। दूसरा, ताकि हम एग्रीकल्चर की नीड्स को देख पाए, हम एग्रीकल्चर को प्रायोरिटाइज कर पाए, राइट? हम स्मॉल स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज को प्रायोरिटाइज कर पाए। एंड तीसरा, ताकि हम क्रेडिट को इक्विटेबली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर पाए, ताकि हम क्रेडिट सिर्फ कुछ लोगों को ना देकर, whoever needs the credit and has a good score, of course, we are able to give them credit. It's a more equitable distribution of credit rather than being unequitable, right? So this is the reason why you had nationalization of the banks. Okay, beta. Now let us go ahead and let us talk about the second reform, priority sector lending. In the 1970s, government introduced concept of priority sector lending, which mandated banks to allow or to allocate a specific percentage of their lending to sectors like agriculture, small scale industries, and weaker section of society. तो बेटा इसमें हमने क्या किया ना, हमने बोला एज द वर्ड सजेस्ट दैट वी आर डूइंग प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग। देयर has to be a fixed amount of money which has to be given as loan to only agriculture sector, only small scale industries, only marginalized farmers, only poor people। ठीक है, हमने वो फिक्स कर दिया कि इतना आपको करना ही पड़ेगा, राइट? सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस जो भी हमारा इनबैलेंस था, इनइक्वालिटी थी, वो कम हो गई, और इसकी वजह से हम इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट की तरफ और बढ़े, राइट? सो प्लीज राइट डाउन दैट दिस मूव was aimed to address regional imbalances and promote economic development across various sectors. Economic development across various sectors. Okay. The third one that we have, beta, that is called as lead banking scheme. So what was lead bank scheme? In which one particular district was assigned to a particular bank, and that bank was responsible for the development of that district. उस district में जो भी development होगी, जो भी वहां की banking needs होंगी, जो भी वहां की credit flows होंगे, वो उस particular commercial bank से attached होंगे, right? So please write down the lead bank scheme was introduced in 1969 to assign each district to a specific commercial bank, right? The lead bank acted as a catalyst for overall development in the district, coordinating and supporting the banking needs of the region, and ensuring credit flow to all sectors, right? Okay. Then, of course, better we had LPG policies, liberalization, privatization, and globalization, right? And iska kya kaam tha? Very simple. The aim of LPG policies was to ensure that we are on the path of financial reforms. ठीक है? To go from a regulated economy, पहले हम बोलते थे कि हमारा जो economy है, it is a controlled economy. It's a regulated economy. And we had to go from controlled economy towards a market oriented economy, है ना? हमें वहां जाना था जहां पे मार्केट को हम सब कुछ, वी आर फ्री इन द मार्केट, राइट? सो इस केस में व्हाट स्टार्टेड हैपनिंग इज दैट बैंक्स प्लेड अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल. बैंक्स को हमने डीरेगुलराइज करना शुरू कर दिया. हमने इंटरेस्ट रेट का मूवमेंट अलाउ कर दिया मार्केट को कि हम बताएंगे नहीं इंटरेस्ट रेट कितना रहेगा. लिबरल है मार्केट का, इंटरेस्ट रेट फ्लक्चुएट कर सकते हैं. हमने फॉरेन बैंक्स को अलाउ किया कि आप इंडिया में आके सेटअप कर सकते हो ताकि कंपटीशन बढ़े और हमारे बैंक्स की एफिशिएंसी भी इंप्रूव हो, राइट? सो प्लीज राइट डाउन फोर्थ पार्ट. लिबरलाइजेशन एंड फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर रिफॉर्म्स 1990 onwards. Write down below. In the early 1990s, India embarked on a path of economic liberalization and financial sector reforms. Right? The country shifted from controlled and regulated economy to more market-oriented approach. Right? Reforms such as deregulation, liberalization of interest rate, right? Introduction of foreign banks led to increased efficiency and competition in banking sector. Okay, beta. So this is the fourth one. Fifth, introduction of new banking model. New banking model. So beta, अभी तक क्या था कि कमर्शियल बैंकिंग तो थी ही, ट्रेडिशनल कमर्शियल बैंकिंग, बट अब इंडिया में कुछ नए तरीके के बैंक्स आने शुरू हो गए, जैसे रीजनल रूरल बैंक, जैसे कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, राइट? सो वी स्टार्टेड सीइंग दैट अलोंगसाइड द ट्रेडिशनल कमर्शियल बैंक्स जो हमेशा से इंडिया में एग्जिस्ट कर रहे थे, वी ऑल्सो एस्टेब्लिश्ड न्यू बैंकिंग मॉडल्स विथ स्पेसिफिक टारगेट्स। जैसे रीजनल रूरल बैंक का टारगेट था कि वो एक पर्टिकुलर रीजन को अपलिफ्ट करेगा, ठीक है, वो वहां पे फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन लाएगा। Cooperative bank's target was that it will, replace the informal credit market, right? It will be like small help group. People will come together and help each other, right? So it will be like serving the needs of cooperatives, small local communities, right? So we started seeing that along with the commercial banks, we also had the coming up of these additional banks. So please write down. Alongside the traditional commercial bank, India witnessed the establishment of new banking model such as regional rural bank and cooperative bank, right? RRBs, regional rural banks, were established in 1970s to cater specifically to rural areas, while cooperative bank aimed to serve needs of cooperative and local communities. Cooperative and local communities. ठीक है? Okay. Now let's come to the sixth point, beta. Technological advancement and digital banking. Technological advancement and digital banking, right? So we know this thing that we are now towards better technology in the banking sector. Use of core banking solution is happening with the help of computers. We NEFT RTGS तो बहुत पहले इंट्रोड्यूस हो गया था, but now we also have mobile banking, we also have UPI services, we also have better customer convenience. ठीक है, मुझे कुछ भी करना, I just have to open the app of the bank. I can open a fixed deposit, I can open a recurring deposit, I can in fact take loans. बहुत सारे लोन भी 10 minutes के अंदर अंदर I can get into my bank, right? So a lot of things have now become technology driven, right? You don't have to go ahead and be after some person to get things done. So please write down. The advent of technology and internet brought significant changes to the commercial banking landscape. Indian banks adopted technological advancement, computerization, and use of core banking solutions. With the rise of digitization, banks introduced online banking, mobile banking, and other digital services to enhance customer convenience and accessibility. Okay, beta. So this is about technological advancements that have come in this sector. Okay, beta. Point number 7. Consolidation and merger of banks. So as I have told you now that, recent years में the Indian government, they have undertaken the consolidation of the banks. ठीक है? जैसे मैंने आपको PNB का एग्जाम्पल दिया. And why this is happening, why consolidation is important? सबसे पहले it increases the name of a particular bank. मतलब अब PNB second largest bank बन गया because two more banks they consolidated with it. Merger हो गया था उनका. Apart from that, you have to also understand that it is going to improve the efficiency of the banks, right? And we are going to ensure कि अगर एक particular bank के पास कभी capital adequacy नहीं होती थी, right? After merger, we will be able to address these issues, right? That now that you have more base, more deposits, right? So the adequacy of the capital will also go ahead and increase, right? So this is what you have to understand, that whenever banks they merge or they consolidate, it basically improves the capital adequacy. It basically goes ahead and improves their scale and efficiency. It improves their financial health. अगर कोई बैंक था इन तीनों में से जिसके पास नॉन परफॉर्मिंग एसेट्स थे, वो ऑटोमेटिकली इंप्रूव हो जाएगा व्हेन देयर विल बी अ मर्जर, right? Okay, so please go ahead and please write down that in the recent years, the Indian government has undertaken consolidation and merger of several public sector banks to strengthen their financial position, improve efficiency, and address issues related to capital adequacy and governance, right? It also helps banks deal with non-performing assets in a better way. Okay, बेटा? ठीक है. द लास्ट वन दैट वी हैव बेटा उसको बोल देंगे हम इंक्लूजन एंड फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी। इंक्लूजन एंड फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी माने अब हमें क्या करना होगा कि हमें फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन की तरफ जाना होगा, राइट। फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन मींस हमें बैंकिंग सर्विस रूरल एरिया, अर्बन एरिया, रिच, पुअर, इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर, एग्रीकल्चरल सेक्टर, हर जगह पे deepening of the banking services. Everywhere we need to provide the banking service, right? And for this, we know, and I have been reiterating it, that we have introduced an initiative called as Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, जिसका एम ही ये है कि सब लोग अपना बेसिक बैंक सर्विस यूज करें, सबका एक बैंक अकाउंट हो, सबको पता हो डिपॉजिट हो सकता है, लोन लिया जा सकता है, राइट। लोगों को और फाइनेंशियली लिटरेट बनाया जाए, वी इम्प्रूव द फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी ऑफ द पीपल, राइट। So please write down that in line with financial inclusion goal, initiatives like the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, PMJDY were launched to provide basic banking service to all citizens, right? Efforts have been made to enhance financial literacy and increase banking penetration in rural and undeserved areas. Sorry, not undeserved, underserved areas. ठीक है, तो जिन एरियाज में बैंकिंग नहीं थी, जो अंडर सर्व्ड थे, जहां पे सर्विसेज नहीं थी, या जिन एरियाज में आज तक कोई भी बैंक इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया गया, या जब जो लोगों को फाइनेंशियल लिटरेसी नहीं थी कि अकाउंट खोलते कैसे हैं, बैंक अकाउंट होता क्या है, वो सब वो बेसिक चीजें, बेसिक बैंकिंग सर्विस हमने इसके थ्रू प्रोवाइड किए, प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना, राइट। सो बेटा दीज आर सम ऑफ द रिफॉर्म